Hi everyone. Happy New Year. This really isn't the first video I wanted to put out this year. I've already created another one, but this topic is just on me and I need to talk about it. Um, as women, and this may apply to some men, but as women, we go through things from, when we're young and we grow up, we go through heartbreak, abuse, we may lose a parent, we have kids, something may happen in our marriage. It's just stuff that we continuously seem to be going through, right? And so sometimes, um, depending on who you are, you can talk stuff out and you're able to let it go. But sometimes as women, we kind of pack that stuff away. All of our hurts and pains, we don't too much deal with it because it hurts. And who wants to hurt? Who wants to be in pain? Who wants to have to deal with stuff? And especially when it seems like stuff is just happening over and over again. And you start looking at your life and seeing things and feeling like a failure. But the fact of the matter is that, yeah, we may fail at things, but failure, and I heard somebody say all this, failure is just a bruise, right? Failure is a bruise. It's a tender spot. It's a place. It's a way for us to learn lessons. But what we do is take failure and turn it into a tattoo. We brand ourselves that, right? So like a bruise will heal. Sometimes, it's just a red mark and it's tender and it hurts to touch, and then it gets really ugly and black and blue and yellow. And it may still be tender before it starts to heal. But a bruise will fade and go away. Right? And we learned something from that bruise. We learned a lesson from how we got that bruise. We learned that lesson. That's what failure is. Failure is meant to teach us a lesson. Right? We do something wrong. We know we did wrong. We get the chance to look at that thing. It may hurt us. That spot when we talk about that topic, it may be tender for us to talk about. But as long as we take care of that area, we put a cold pack on it or put a hot pack on it, or we do something to care for the area, to care for the thing. We talk about the problem. We go seek help for the problem. We go to the doctor, or we go to a psychologist, to a counselor, and talk about things. We unpack our stuff. Then that bruise, that failure will just fade away. But when we take our failures and brand it on our arms like a tattoo, it doesn't even matter if you're happy. When you turn and look, you see, oh yeah, I'm a failure. Because you've branded it. You still have that stuff that you have not dealt with, those things that you may have failed at, but you just held on to it because they hurt and you didn't want to deal with it. But that's a trick of the enemy. He doesn't want us to unpack. He doesn't want us to succeed. He wants us to see ourselves as a failure. But God said his word teaches and tells us that. And I used to have issue with this scripture when it said that all things work together for good for those who love God and who are called according to his purpose. Said that all things work together. Well, if I am hurting, if I have failed at something, if I have done wrong, and I know that I did the wrong, if I lost somebody, if somebody died and that loss hurt me, how in the world does that work out for my good? But I learned a lesson. That thing didn't happen for my good. That person didn't die. This nut didn't abuse me. That stuff didn't happen for my good. But in that thing, in that pain, in that hurt, in that failure, God is there trying to teach us a lesson, right? He's there to give us peace, and he's in that thing working for good. Not that thing happened for my good, but that God is in that thing working for my Good. So let's unpack our stuff. Right? God is at the door knocking. He doesn't barge his way in. He doesn't bogart our lives. We have to open the door and let him in. You know, the word tells us to let our petitions be made known. The word tells us to cast our cares on God because he cares for us. But what we do is we just pack it away, right? And so you keep stuffing that suitcase. You keep stuffing it. You keep stuffing it until eventually it's just going to explode. The zipper is going to break. You're not going to be able to close it. And all your mess is going to be all over the place for everybody to see. And again, you'll just feel like a bigger failure. You'll just brand yourself. You'll just tattoo yourself again with that word when all it's meant to be is just a bruise that will heal and go away. It'll just be a lesson. That's all it's meant to be, is a lesson. Hear what I'm saying? Let's see failure for what it is. Again, failure is just a bruise. It's not a tattoo. I love you guys.